Hi, this is Math Just in Time, and today we're going to learn how to solve equations like this with division in it. So, there are a couple ways to do this, and essentially they end up being the same thing, but I'm going to show you two different ways. The first way is to take the division and change it. So, if you didn't see my last video, tips and tricks about how different ways to write things, I would definitely check that out if you need help with it. If we have x over 6, we can rewrite it as 1/6 x. So these are the exact same thing, and I talk about that in my other video. So if we have this equation, now we have a number multiplied by x. And so, but it's a weird number. So what are we going to do? Well, we also, in that other video, we talked about reciprocals. If you take a number and you multiply it by its reciprocal, then you get 1. And 1/6 reciprocal, remember you just take it and you flip it. This reciprocal of 1/6 is 6 over 1. So let's see. We have 6 times 1, which is 6, and 1 times 6, which is 6. X, and make sure we have to do the same thing over here. So we can make this into a fraction. 4 times 6 is 24. And 1 times 1 is 1. So now we have x is equal to 24. Let's see if that's right. So if we take 24 and we plug it back into the original equation, we would have 24 over 6 is equal to 4. And does 6 go into 24 4 times? Yes, it does. Let's do several more of these. I think once we do a couple, it'll make more sense. Let's take a look at this example. So we have x over 4 is equal to 7. So how do we rewrite this? Remember, we can say this is a 1 because we always assume it is, and we can always pull the x out. So we know 1/4 x. So these two things are equal to each other. They're just written differently, kind of like cursive and regular. Okay, so if we have 1/4 x and we need to get it so that we get rid of the 1/4 so that it becomes a 1, so we can just have x by itself. We multiply by its reciprocal. So 1/4 multiplied by its reciprocal is 4 over 1. And we're going to do that to both sides. So if we look here, 4 times 1 is 4, 1 times 4 is 4. So these cancel out, and we're left with x is equal to, we can always make this a fraction if we need to, 7 times 4, which is 28. And 1 times 1, which is 1, which is the same thing. It's 28. So, let's see if this is right. So if we have 28 divided by 4 is equal to 7. Is 28 divided by 4 equal to 7? Yes, it is. So the important thing to remember is if we have something like this, is to multiply. We can rewrite it and multiply it by its reciprocal. So remember I told you that there were several ways to do this, and I was going to show you two. So let me show you the other way. And it's essentially the same thing, but sometimes it makes it easier to learn different ways. Some people learn better one way and other people learn better the other way. So let's kind of look at it this way for these last two problems. If we have x and we're dividing by 3, in order to get rid of the 3, we're going to have to multiply by 3. Well, what happens if we do that? Well, 3 over 1 is the same thing. And basically, we've multiplied by its reciprocal. But if we just look at this, we've divided by 3, so we're multiplying by 3. And we do that on each side. Then these cancel out, and we're left with x is equal to 3. And that may seem easier to some. To some, it may not make sense. Whichever way makes most sense to you is what's important to do. But let's check to see if we got it right. So if we look at this, we put the 3 in, we would have 3 over 3, which was the original problem, is equal to 1. And that's right. So let's try another one like this. What if we had x over 6 is equal to 6? Well, let's see. If we're dividing by 6, we need to multiply by 6 on both sides. And so these cancel out, and we're left with x is equal to 6 times 6, which is 36. And let's check it. We've got 36 over 6 is equal to 6. Is this right? Yes, it is. Very good.